Hello, Amy Horn here, and today I'm going to take you through some of the more recent Lightroom changes in 2025. So right now it's June 2025, and we have some new updates that just came out a few days ago. And then we also have some updates that came out a few months ago. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight all of those real quick. So let's start off with, as a photographer and a workshop instructor, uh, my clients frequently have photos of people that are in the image that maybe they don't want the people. So Lightroom has come up with a new distraction removal tool. Really cool. It focuses both on people and on reflections. So let's go ahead and take an example of this image here from Watson Lake, Arizona. Using the remove tool, I now have two different expandable menus, the remove, which looks like it did before, as well as distraction removal. Distraction removal has two categories, reflections and people. This is people, so I'm going to go ahead and expand that. It is going to search for my people. Did a pretty good job finding people, and then it also found a little other random thing over here. I'm going to go ahead and hit the remove. Oftentimes, if you have done this once already, it's going to speed up the process. And so this didn't take quite the 15 seconds it was predicting, but it has just like that removed the people. Now, one thing it did not remove is the backpack down here. So I'm going to zoom in at 100% so we can see that backpack. And now I can jump to my normal remove tool, just like I did before, and highlight the backpack and go ahead and hit remove. Anytime these new AI features are used, you're going to notice that there is a new toolbar referring to some of the AI stuff that appears. And so let's really quick look at, I don't know if I really like that remove option. So I'm going to look at, I can either regenerate or I can look at a few different options here. That one looks a little bit more natural. Oh, that one's even better. So I'm going to choose 3 of 3. And so you can toggle between different ones. You can also hit generate and it will regenerate different options. Let me go back to the fit the image in the screen. Now, so anytime I've used those AI features, this will start to highlight yellow if I make other edits afterwards. And the highlighting of yellow is going to tell me that I need to come back to the AI features because it might not be as smooth as it should be. So there's an order of workflow when it comes to some of these AI features. All right, so we'll come back to this image in a little bit, but let's take a look at what reflections can do. So when it comes to the reflections right here, I can just come down to reflections, expand that, hit apply. It's going to go ahead and evaluate the image. And just like that, when the 20 seconds are up, you have an image with no reflections. So I do also have this transparency or opacity slider. I can drag it back to what the original photo was. And if I go the opposite direction, I can actually see the reflection, the reverse of it, what was actually the reflection in the window. So there you see me taking the photo. So in the past, we could only use circular polarizing filters to remove reflections. Now we have this very powerful tool. Just like we saw in the people removal, I can hit click on the eyeball right over here. If I bring this back up to 100%, click on the eyeball and see the before and after. So very powerful new features under the remove tool. And let's go ahead and take a look at another feature. So this one is denoise. In the past, denoise, in order to use it on a raw image, it would require that you converted it to a DNG, and that has changed now. So if I go back to my main tab of all my main panels, under detail, I have the denoise option, and this only works on raw images. If you have a JPEG image or you have a DNG or you have a TIFF, you're going to see a yellow exclamation point here that will tell you it's not, you can't use this function on that type of file. So it does have to be on a raw image. And once it finishes up here, I'll zoom into 100% so we can really see the difference and the before and after. And this is just using the defaults for denoise. So very powerful option here. And of course, the default for Lightroom while we're in the detail panel is to have sharpening at 40 with a radius of 1 and a detail at 25. So if you want to change that default, you can go in and change your presets to do that. But this is the automatic default to add a little bit of sharpening to every image. You still have the option to do manual noise reduction, especially luminance. And it's just about done here, kind of a long 20 seconds here. So now that it finished up, I'm going to go ahead and take this image at 100%. And with the denoise, it looks pretty clear of noise, but let's go ahead and hit the eyeball here to see what the before was. So now I can actually see a fair amount of noise, even though I only shot this at 400 ISO. And then when I remove the toggle, I get rid of the noise. So just like all the other sliders in Lightroom, you can increase the denoise, you can decrease it, whatever it is you intend to do with the image. I'm going to put that back to full fit on the screen. And so those are the real big major changes here in the June 2025 of Lightroom Classic and the Lightroom mobile version, the traditional Lightroom. Let's go ahead and take a look at some changes that came out earlier this year and in the masking tool. This is just so powerful. So I'm going to go back to that Watson Lake image. I've already removed the people from it, but I want to do a few other edits because the image looks a little bit washed out, not great light. So when I go to my masking feature, I have this new landscape masking option. With that new landscape masking option, Lightroom will detect different landscaping features. There's up to, I think it's 11 different landscaping features that it can find. This image found 5. So if I hover over sky or mountains, vegetation, water, and then natural ground. So I can toggle on or off whichever ones I want. So let's say I want the sky in particular. Mountains gets the background, but then there's some of the foreground, so I'm not going to use that one. I don't know that I'm going to use vegetation really either, but I am going to use water, and then I'm going to use natural ground. So it'll create 3 separate masks. I'm going to go ahead and hit create masks, and there they are. So I can start off with the sky mask, selected the sky mask, and let me just minimize my histogram here. And I'm going to go ahead and start off maybe decreasing the highlights, increasing contrast a little bit, and maybe even add some color temperature, do something kind of different there. I can, of course, hit the eyeball on that mask to see the before and after. Probably went a little too far with the temperature, so we'll bring that back some. And now I'm going to look at the water. So with the water, let's go ahead and maybe decrease clarity in the water so we can get a little bit smoother water. And I might add a little bit of dehaze to it just to richen it up some, make it a little bit more reflective. And lastly, I'm going to take a look at my natural ground. And natural ground, I'm going to go ahead and increase texture slightly. Just to have some good contrast, I'm going to warm it up just a little bit. So that way we have the cool and the warm tones in the same image. I can also decrease the black some. And so now if I look at my before and after using my backslash key, here's the before. I'm sorry, here's the before, here's the after. So that's with all of the adjustments. And then the last thing I might want to do would be to go ahead and crop the image. So I'm going to go ahead and crop down so that my horizon's in a little better location, applying the rule of thirds. Last thing I could do, which is not a new update, but I would go ahead and add just a slight vignette. just to help draw a viewer's eye into the main frame. So that's a really quick 15-second or 30-second, I don't know, very fast editing of an image utilizing the new masking features. So just a reminder, today we took a look at the new June 2025 options, especially with the remove tool, with reflections and with people, also denoise, and then took a quick little look at the landscape masking. You do have a new tool on your toolbar. If you have any questions on some of the new Lightroom features, go ahead and drop a comment down below. If you're looking for more Lightroom training, I've got some webinars set up for photo processing and critiques, as well as photo challenges and critiques. So you do some shooting every week, you get a new challenge. Just check out my website at horndesigns.com and feel free to join me in my next webinar. Thank you.